Opposed? Is it approved? Alrighty, citizens participation. Tracy, come on up. What can we do for you?
So I represent the request from Tracy for the President Committee. And so we just wanted to make sure that we get the street closures for the Party of Cuba Fest and for the Park Prison. So last year was our first year for the Park Prison. So we wanted to use the Park Prison since we were the second annual part of the Park Prison this year. So Planning Base does agree that we'll be allowed to use this parking lot. So since they closed the building, this year is the addition for the Park Prison. But we want to have just North Smith up to the senior center for the Park Prison. And then as well, we usually use the High School Street from the church to the beginning of the parking lot for Sunday morning it's open, but then after the church is over, we use the street too as well. If we have the travel numbers, I'm sure the travel's coming this year. So just preemptively putting out a schedule to have the street closed. And then always we have the street, which I know is usually the parking lot, but that is a street there. So we want to make sure that's on the approved street as well. So B Street and then North Smith Street. We're not going to use these side streets because actually we didn't use them. We have them closed. We didn't use them. But with having the addition of the parking lot for the save a lot, I think we were probably should have space.
What's your dates this year?
October 21st and 22nd.
As usual, I know we did this last year and for many years, just communicate with the police department and notify business owners and homeowners and all that. Is there a motion to hear for the evening closures? Motion by Baus, second by Honey. All in favor say aye. Opposed? They're all yours.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Is there anyone else here this evening for citizens participation? Doesn't look like it. Just in case. Hearing none. Regular meeting minutes of June 20th, 2003. Motion to approve. Motion by Barton, seconded by Grady. All in favor say aye. Opposed. Special meeting minutes, June 29th, 2003. Motion to approve. Motion by Honey. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed. Abstained by Grady. 5 ayes. Executive session, special meeting minutes of June 29th, 2023. Motion to accept. Motion by Martin. Second by Holt. All in favor say aye. Opposed. Abstained by Grady. And special meeting minutes of July 7th, 2023. Motion to accept. Motion by Honey. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed. Abstained by Grady. Thank you, council. Treasurer's report as well as the bills to be paid. Motion to pay the bills. Motion by Grady. Second by Honey. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Transfers in and bills to be paid are taken care of. Electric department. Andy. Looks like you have some tree trimming bids for us.
No tree trimming.
Or no, we need to solicit them, don't we?
Yes. But I was going to ask you guys if there's a way to just go ahead and, I got two tree trimming companies that usually we deal with every year. So I see if it's possible to go ahead on the paper. Just whoever's the cheapest bid, then we go again. Doesn't have to go in the paper.
And the essence of just trying to speed the process up.
So just trying to quicken the process.
I understand. I mean, the only way we could do that if it was under some sort of emergency type situation. Direct you over to our attorney for that. If you can convince him that this is an emergency, then maybe he would allow it. If not, we'd have to go through the proper protocols.
If you have tree limbs that are in the lines, but for the entire project, I think you're gonna have to go. At least, I mean, you can certainly use those folks if you have trees in the lines in those places, but unless you have trees in the lines in all places you're talking about, that's gonna be an issue.
I have a question. So is that like for a year? How do
For 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, we budget X amount, and then, you know, once it's used, it's used.
Now, how many people put in bids? Was it just two?
Usually like 3 companies, 2 or 3 in the past.
There's usually two.
Yeah, we've had,
This past recently.
yeah, so we've had Ronnie Woodruff, we've had AAA, and we've had Brown. Those are usually the 3.
We're good section by section.
Yes, and we've done that as well, where there's been certain sections awarded to different bidders based upon their bid on that specific section too.
If we look back at the last 2 years and send out solicitations to all of the people who put in bids before, I think we can do that, and that'll be fine.
Okay. What you want to do is arrange a time with any interested parties to look at each of those individual sections that you have, and then have them bid on those individual sections.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, they haven't given me the bid.
Right.
But they have.
So, with that being said, Lance, you can reach out to the individuals that have bid in the past and forego the publishing of bids. Okay.
That's not unlike when we get stuff for transformers and stuff like that, where there's only 2 or 3 companies that make the thing. You know, it's a waste of time to solicit a newspaper.
Should we make a motion now to allow for him to do that and put a end date on when he needs to have that completed and all bids received, and then from there we would have a meeting to award those bids? Perhaps we could have a special meeting if needed, if you're not willing to, if you think they can conduct the work or at least begin the work before the first meeting in August, which is Tuesday the 1st, today's the 18th.
They're getting, I talked to them today, the one kind of in Owensville, and the other one, he's supposed to be meeting back with me this week, and the one from Owensville, he didn't give me any certain date, but he said really soon. So,
Well, we need to,
I'm trying to get him to hurry up and get, I got a hold of them a month ago, trying to get me the bids, and they haven't gotten it.
I mean, do you want to give all interested bidders until, you know, Friday, or do you want to give them until like next Wednesday, or what do you think is a good working timeline for you?
We can do the first meeting in August.
First meeting in August, okay. So have all bids per section turned into City Hall or Department of Public Works or whatever, sealed bids, by Friday the 28th at 3 p.m. And then we'll have it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Is the first meeting in August 1st?
Be the 2nd, I think? Yes, August 1st.
The days I haven't got back with me, but I got hold of them right on.
Okay. Is that a conflict for you?
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure.
Okay. Motion to allow Andy to solicit the tree trimming bids, have those bids turned in, sealed to City Hall by the July 28th at 3 p.m. Motion by Honey, second by Hull. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Good. Contractor for double circuit conversion. So you got some contractor bids for us here. This is a budgeted project.
Yeah.
Full bid, material bid. Make sure I'm looking at the right one here.
These are all within, and that's for the contractor, one's for the bid for a project, for the goals for a project, and one is for materials for the same project. So there's 3 within.
Okay.
It's within the same project, but it's all different material or labor that has to be going on.
All right. So we have a bid here from Reinhold Electric. And I guess I need to read each of these individually since they're all containing different items. Apologize, I should have probably read these before I came in here. Usually it's just for each bid. That's it. So Reinhold Electric has a bid laying out the project to replace 31 poles in place of old existing poles or within an easement, install new hardware, transfer lights, risers, transformers, secondary lines, etc. to the new poles, restore the areas that are disturbed by work, supply traffic control as needed, demolish old poles and wire once new circuit is energized and dispose of off-site. City to supply poles and all necessary materials to complete that project. All work to be performed during normal hours. Looks like the bid for Reinhold to complete this job is $789,000. Is that correct? Okay. Moving on to a bid from. Oh, guys, okay, these are for bids. Understood. Here's a bid from PLC, which I would assume is the same scope of work, correct? From the things that I had just mentioned from the Reinhold bid. Their bid is for $489,000. They must not. That's a significant, pretty significant. Double circuit to single three-phase conversion, labor and equipment, PLC, $489,000. And I assume the Reinhold specs is the same double circuit to single three-phase conversion. So, but it is just the difference is $300,000.
Well, it says labor and equipment.
Labor and equipment
Also
also.
not removing the poles, it's not, you know.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are these bids matching as far as the scope of work goes? They just didn't spell that part out.
They're just, have higher wages or higher.
Okay.
I don't know why it's so.
Right, I mean, as long as it's the same scope of work for both bids, don't want to accept the $300,000 less bid, but then still have to pay for other items.
I talked with PLC when he came down, the owner, and he understands so what there is. The same thing, poles, new poles go in, and new wire gets put up, cut down the old, or transformer, secondary, and do it all under that.
So the exclusions that are listed on the Reinhold bid is rock excavation. I guess that's case by case, pole by pole. If we run into any rock, that might take additional work to get those holes created. Supply holes materials, we already know that because we have bids for those. Lights and transformers, we already know that. Any permitting, engineering, supply wire, we're supplying temporary power we would supply.
The permits for the state highway PLC included into the bid. That I had them included into the bid. So I had it there.
Feel free to ask any other detailed questions, council. So again, those are significantly different in price. We just want to make sure it is the same scope of work.
If Andy's confident that they're the same, then I would make a motion to take a lower bid.
Reinhold come down last year, and he asked me if it's the same job as last year. Yes, I think he just gave me the price.
Just gave you the same bid.
PLC came down and looked over it much more with me and went through it with me.
Okay.
We're providing the poles.
Reply, both contractors, you have to provide all the material.
Right, which I guess is these next bids that we have for materials.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I get where you come from, as long as you're confident that it's the same scope of work for each bid. There is a motion and a second, by Martin, second by House, to, I assume, choose the bid from PLC? Yes. Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bid is awarded to PLC. With that being said, we have some material bids to look at to provide the needed materials for this job. Is that for this job specifically, or just materials in general?
No, it is just for that job.
Okay, so from Fletcher Reinhardt Company,
It's the only bid because it can only get certain stuff, so I can only get one bid on them.
so there's only one bid for these actual materials that Fletcher Reinhardt has submitted a bid for?
Yes, they can only give me, they're the only company that can give me certain fiberglass arms and fiberglass paint-offs and stuff like that, and a reasonable time.
So, and this last one that we have got to get is for transformers, is that correct?
One, yeah, but that's not for that project. There should be another one for poles.
This is the full bid for this project.
So materials needed for this project, we only had one bid through Fletcher Reinhardt. You can see there's multiple pages of specific items that is needed for this project, in which totals an amount of $66,427.30.
And we got a discount because we used January's credit, so we got a discount.
Motion to approve the material bid from Fletcher Reinhardt. Motion by Bouse. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Question Reinhardt wins the bid for the needed materials. That takes us to the pole bid. And you just have one pole bid as well?
The other company was, they told me 48 weeks out on poles.
48 weeks out on poles with one individual. However, we have a bid here from Baldwin Pole.
Sorry. I don't know if there's complicated things. I just found out today that company had just got sold yesterday to a different company, but they're gonna honor that quote for the poles.
Baldwin,
But when we buy the poles, it's gonna be through another company.
Baldwin.
Baldwin pole got bought out by, hold on, she sent me an email. I just found this out today.
They usually on our poles for 30 days.
See any issue with that, Lance? The bid's gonna be honored, it's just gonna be,
It's not a problem.
name could be different. So the bid was for, 45-foot class 4 poles and 45-foot class 2 poles, a full load of each, so I'm just gonna full semi-flatbed load of each. Full load.
Say it one more time, I'm reading that email, say it one more time.
Your quote is for a full load of 45-foot class 4 poles and a full load of 45-foot class 2 poles.
No. It's the bids, but I need you to get the class 4 poles because I can get them a lot quicker than class 2. Class 2 is months and months and months and months out.
Okay,
Class
so
2 is
in the response from Baldwin Pole, they say 45-foot class 4 poles are $625 each at 35 poles.
Yes.
Goes on to say that the delivery is 4 to 5 weeks. So what is the total cost there, because they did not provide one?
21,875.
Okay, so the bid would be for
21,875.
21,875.
And a new company is called Stella Jones.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept this bid on the 45-foot class 4 poles? Motion by Mouse. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, council. Then I have another one here. Looks like it's for transformers.
That is for stock.
This is for just your normal stock. Budgeted on this new fiscal year. Go ahead and order, get them in here. It takes a while, right?
Yes, sir.
1, 2. So you got 3 different bids?
4.
4 different bids. Okay. All these bids are matching.
Well, Emerald Transformers, they can only provide what they have. And it's still a long lead time for some reason, I'm not for sure, but Emerald Transformers have a less quantity than others.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Are we doing all of these? You have bid for 25, bid for 37.5 and 50, you're doing each one? Okay.
So each one of these will have response to those individual amperage or voltage or kilowatt.
Yeah, kilovolt, yes.
So DS Dedicated Services Incorporated has a bid for 25 kVA transformers at $1,725 apiece. Looks like Sunbelt Solomon has bids for 25 kVA transformers at $1,770 each. Emerald has bids for 25 kVA transformers at $1,435 each. And Midwest Transformer has bids for 25 kVAs at $3,105 each. So the lesser amount there on the 25 kVAs is Emerald Transformer at $1,435, and they have a quantity of 5. Does that match what you're looking for there?
Yeah, but look at lead times.
Okay. What's your recommendation for the 25 kVAs? Solomon? Based upon lead times
Lead
and
times and-
quantity and pricing?
That, and I trust that one.
Council, sounds like the recommendation from electric supervisor even though they're coming a little bit higher, would be Solomon at 1770 due to, I suppose, working with them in the past, knowing their material and time.
Make a motion to take Andy's recommendation. Second.
Motion by Holt, seconded by Baus to take the recommendation of Andy's for Sunbelt Solomon for D25 kVA transformers. Are there any questions to that council? All in favor say aye. Any opposition? Okay, so Sunbelt Solomon will be awarded the bid for 25 kVAs at 1770 apiece. Next item is a 37.5 kVA transformer. The Dedicated Service Incorporated has priced those at $2,100 each. Sunbelt Solomon has priced those at $2,490 each. Midwest Transformer has priced those at $3,805 each. Emerald Transformer has priced those at $1,719 each. Now, Andy, with lead times and quantities available, do you have a specific recommendation? Solomon? Emerald. Okay.
37 and a half aren't as important. There's kind of a oddball transformer.
Okay. So given what our electric supervisor is recommending, he recommends Emerald Transformer for the 37.5 kVAs. Is there a motion to that?
Make that motion.
Motion by Martin. Second by Tony. All in favor say aye. Opposed. And last but not least, 50 kVAs. Dedicated Services Inc. has bids for $2,280 each. Sunbelt Solomon for $2,685. Midwest Transformer, $4,650, and Emerald Transformer at $4,140. And due to quantities available and lead times, do you have a recommendation? Recommendation by Andy, due to quantities available and lead times, would be Sunbelt Solomon on the 50 kVAs at $2,685 a piece. Is there a motion to that? Motion by Holt. Second by Baus. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is that all of your bids, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright.
You're good. I should have read through those before I sat down here tonight.
And I have one more thing.
Of course you do.
We've had some outages from storms lately, I know you know. I can help out with that, but in order to do so, I talked a little bit with Debbie. I need a little break from projects for 3 months. You know, let me do maintenance on the system for just straight up maintenance.
For how long?
3 months.
3 months. Where will that put us on some of these? I mean, some of these projects are being contracted, I guess.
The contracted ones, I don't have to be there.
Right.
So the only ones that will actually get left behind by the time I get polls for the park project, that's 3 months to go. And I couldn't get polls because they switched companies, they went on that one. So they on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for you just bringing that to our attention that that's what.
But more or less the root subdivision.
Yeah, I don't think we need to make any type of motion just to allow you to perform necessary duties, but thank you for bringing that to our attention.
One, you gotta be aware.
We'll put that on the record that, you know, hey, I mean, when folks read this newspaper, they're gonna see the amount of money we're spending on our electrical grid. And if they wanna dig back in the last 2 years, they can see the amount of money we spend on our electrical grid. We're still having our struggles, but you guys are out there doing all you can to kick butt. I mean, they were out till 4 a.m. during that first storm, you know, making it happen. We're spending the money, we've got the team, it's just taking time to get everything back up to speed.
I got 4 guys and 4 guys for the system.
It's certainly not for the lack of effort on the city, on our electric department's fault.
But I think sexualizing a lot of parts of this town, where single phase tax, rate based tax having some sort of fusing on it, like over the past weekend, if those single phase tax were that fusing on them, the whole circuit went down.
Right. So, with that being said, do what you gotta do, man.
I just want you guys to be aware that the subdivisions should be put on hold and just let you do strictly maintenance, tree trimming, sexualizing stuff, and changing poles on those circuits.
Fair enough. Any questions for Andy? Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, F gas.
total for this meter because it's over $5,000.
All right, Jim has a bid, or more or less a purchase order for, a new upgraded meter for Cuban revitalization. Typical business. The cost of this meter is $6,163.47. Is there a motion to approve the purchase order for the meter?
Motion.
Yeah.
That does. Make your motion.
I'll make the motion to accept.
I'll second.
The reason why he has that, because the meter after now is too small,
Is it?
and he has to get it bigger because they keep adding on and adding on.
Is it burning natural gas?
And this is gonna pay off. Then he's gotta have it.
It's like the one we did for.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like this is the same way. Once they keep increasing, those meters are too small, you can't use them. You gotta go with the flow. When that happens, we have to buy them because they just keep increasing, which helps us out in the long run. Plus, we can reuse the old meters. Yeah, that's needed.
Okay, cool. Motion by, Holt, second by Grady. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Blue Bit,
Yes.
come on up, sir. What do you have for us this evening?
We are seeking to attach fiber optic to the city utility poles. So I have Burup's attachment templates. I'm not expecting any decision or anything today.
Okay.
Not to review, but there's a draft pole attach agreement covering easements, right of ways, the fees, everything like that. And go ahead, if you don't mind.
What will this provide? It will provide high-speed internet for,
It'd be fiber to the home for all businesses and residential in the city.
okay,
And,
which is purchased through Blue Bit?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But you want to attach it to city utility poles?
Yes.
Like how many? Like all of them? Or, I don't know anything about it, I'm asking you.
Yes, so it most likely would be the majority of the poles in the city. It would likely follow where Spectrum and CenturyLink are on the poles.
Okay.
Of course, depending on the clearances, we have to go out and measure, make sure that we have the clearance.
So this is common practice for other entities to have these type of agreements with the municipality?
Yep.
Very good. Yeah, I don't know what we need to do to review these plans. I don't know if it's something you need to review.
It's not good to me.
Rather than me and the council reading those, I was probably gonna have our attorney read that for you, and then maybe by the next meeting, we can have a motion to be made to, approve or accept or whatever, to allow you to move forward with this. It sounds like he's probably gonna have to create a contract that we'll have to put into ordinance, and there'll be some steps to take along the way. I would think there's probably similar agreements made, like if one of our poles goes down, we're not responsible for your equipment. Probably all in there, just kind of trying to outline some of that. Andy, I'm sure you're familiar with some of these other folks being attached to some of your poles.
If you get charter,
Yeah.
Pacifica, or whatever they are now.
I don't know.
Because we used to charge for that.
I don't know.
Yes, yeah, you charge.
Yes.
With
So there's a charge.
There is a charge.
I think you might have to start with
Yeah, if you want to handle it, if you want, obviously everybody please hand them out, absolutely. And then Lance will also do his magic, and we can perhaps have something on the next meeting. Do we need to go ahead and make a motion now to allow you to explore this or anything, or prepare anything for us for the next meeting, or no? Okay.
One of the things that we thought of that might be of interest is, of course, with a lot of these contracts, administrative costs, so the pole is in need of replacement due to our attachment. So if that one attachment, for instance, where the pole would need to be replaced, usually it would be up to us to pay for that pole to be replaced. An idea we had was to provide free fiber services to all the city buildings in exchange for reduced renewal meter rate. There would still be a full rental, which is comparable to the other areas like Robert Electric and things like that. So.
Okay, and that language is in your proposal? Okay. So that might be something that's just a little bit different than what other people approach us with. Don't see that that's a problem. Obviously, Lance, if we have have to go a separate route to accept free internet from the gentleman, and exit any contracts that we might be in. We'll allow Lance to explore that as well. But yeah, I think the easiest thing right now is just give us some time, and hopefully by our first meeting in August, we can have something on our agenda to make a vote on or a motion on or move forward with.
Yeah, we only just wanted to get the documents over to you guys, and then we can look at seeing what we can do.
Absolutely. Any questions for Josh, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, any questions for Josh? Thanks, sir. You bet. Street Department laborer position, was there a street committee meeting to be held, or Mr. Dotson is here this evening? I know we budgeted in this new budget a laborer position for you.
Yes, we had put off earlier getting one until budget time.
Right.
And
Now you're ready, huh?
we're ready.
You need it, huh?
somebody.
Okay. So basically, I know, Jennifer, we included that entry-level laborer, street department employee. Salary was specified, and then salary we just passed, whatever that number is, I don't have it off the top of my head, but that's obviously what we've been searching for. And we're just looking for a motion to advertise internally and externally for a street department laborer, correct? Okay. Motion by Grady, second by Bouse. Hang on, not done yet. Until when? July 28th at 3 p.m. You want to have some time for interviews?
Well, so what is it? So it won't even go into the paper until the 27th.
Just know you
So-
need somebody.
Yes, I
I
mean,
mean, I'm good with, if you're good with that. I just know it will not hit
Well,
the paper until next Thursday.
it's gonna take what it's gonna take, so I
Okay.
mean, I just wanna get
Get
it
it going.
started, you know.
So we run it through, I mean, we can always have a special meeting, otherwise it would be August 15th. I mean, summer's almost over.
I know, and how I'm needing for asphalt, but,
Right.
you know, we gotta do what we gotta do,
Okay.
so, I mean, I'm not gonna,
Well, let's run it then until Friday, August 4th at 3 p.m., internally and externally. When that closes, obviously, you and your committee will have a better idea of how many applicants you have, and if it's minimal or manageable, we can always call a special meeting.
okay.
You know, if you're like, I got two guys, I want to interview them, and I want to make a decision, we can always do that following week or something, but let's cross that bridge when we get there and run it till the 4th at 3 p.m. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Let's take care of this. We'll take care of this while we're here. We also have, obviously, budgeted for your overlays this year, as we do every year. West Contracting is normally the only company that has the Nova Seal overlay machine, so they bid on this every year. It's nothing different than what we haven't already seen before, and the total bid, this includes the overlay and all the milling and butt joints and providing machinery, and except we provide the dump truck sweeper and traffic control, so they provide.
For their million,
Okay.
just pick up millions and stuff, so.
Anyway, regardless, total bid is $300,533.50. Now, you said that came under
Yes,
what you had originally thought,
yes.
so even though it's a big number, it's less than.
It's less than, it's like 25 cents a yard more than it was last year.
Okay.
Fuel prices and stuff changing, I mean, they come in there and last year,
Are we keeping them in?
so, yes.
We can put them in, backfill up.
Yes, and I was gonna tell you too, we've got to clean up a whole bunch of dirt there by the, Jim Barnett line out there. Maybe I'll much enough out there to fill that,
Good.
but I've gotta get time to get to it. I mean, as long as we're not in no big hurry, you know, I've been gonna do it this summer, and I just haven't had a chance to. Everything else has come up, so, you know, we've got that.
Was that under your street department?
Under transportation costs. Yes, it's on the agenda.
Yeah, no, it didn't make it under the street department laborer's position. Shall we do something different, sir?
Well, you can, I think you can award the bid if you solicit bids, but you can stop there.
And he came and asked me what to do, and
Yes.
I knew they were the only company that provided it, so he was reaching out
Pace.
to them directly.
They told me that Pace does do that. I think they're out of St. Charles. I can't remember. I called them, got a hold of one of their up, and he said he'd get a hold of me in 2 weeks, and I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
That's they've done the last 2 years in a row. They don't want the bids in, I guess, we're too little.
And that's
For them
fine.
to come to,
I
and
just
I get to solicit everything that does this.
Okay. I think you can award it, but we'll have to come back with an ordinance form for the contract anyway, so.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
And this is just curiosity on my part. So this thing where it says 27 manhole risers, is that gonna bring the road out?
That brings yes, that brings manholes up. And they do it, it's easier for them to come up with them than it is for us to have them made. That's what the sewer department asked me to do, so.
It's well washer, basically.
They've got an adjustable one that they get, it's, that sits in there and just raises it up, the thickness of the asphalt. So we don't have to drop in the asphalt, so.
Okay, motion to accept the bid from West Contracting for $300,533.50.
Motion.
Motion by Grady, second by Honey, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, council. Thank you, Mr. Dodson. I'm sure you. Anything else for us?
So before I get hold of them or anything, we need to have an ordinance.
Have them send the contract to Lane, and I'll put it in ordinance form for August 1.
Well, it actually was kind of, I mean,
Just make sure she has a copy of it.
okay, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
But before the mayor can sign it, it's gotta be, have an ordinance.
So we'll be able to pass that into an ordinance at the next meeting, and then they can immediately conduct the work afterwards.
so I can tell them to go ahead and put us on the list and.
Yes.
You got
So, okay. That way I get them on it before they
Sure.
go out to everybody else, and we're down into December before
I
they,
agree.
not be able to get it, so. All right,
Thanks, sir.
thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks.
EOC Direct Report, Rodney.
Two things. I haven't talked to Jennifer about this. I had it in the budget to upgrade the city's tornado siren feed. I had problems for the past couple of days, even last week. If it's okay for me to go ahead and order the parts and get that project going. So,
Yeah, it's a budgeted item that you
Yes.
had for this year.
yes.
Because it's probably a pretty unique item. I don't know if soliciting bids through the newspaper is necessary or.
No. There is another company out there we can possibly go to, but they gave us a little bit of a discount
Okay.
since we've been with the company for quite a while. If you guys want me to, I can go. I have another company that I can probably call and see what.
Yeah, I would say if you can get 2 different bids on what you're needing, and for the
Yeah.
next meeting, we can vote to approve one of them.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get that done. I'll get some 2 bids. Cameras with the new system that was budgeted. I do have locations to start the project. I'm going to talk to the police department and talk with them and see what the best locations for some cameras to go to. But Hood Park will be last.
You wait on more lighting and more poles
Yes.
and some of the projects that Amy and his team are working on.
Yes.
When we do camera locations for security, I suggest we do that in closed session.
Probably good.
Okay.
So bring us the bids for your tornado siren
I will.
item that you're needing, and we can just get that taken care of at the next meeting.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Anything for Rodney? Thanks, sir. Trencher bids. This is an item that we are selling.
No, that is
It's been a while.
in case the gas department should need an emergency.
Oh, yeah, okay. I remember now. We solicited bids for any folks out there that would be interested in providing us a rate to rent out a trencher in the event that ours would be unable to be used. We had one individual submit a bid from Jim Hamble. For installing pipe for the city, I will trench a minimum of 4-inch wide ditch and at least 36-inch in depth when needed the day of trenching in an emergency situation only. Using trencher per work day of $325, taking full responsibility for the maintenance of the machine. So we know Jim had mentioned to us at a previous meeting that this was an issue. We allowed folks to solicit bid opportunities for this, and he was the only one to do it. Lance, you remember having this conversation?
Yeah.
So there's a motion to allow us to, in the event that it's needed, to rent the trencher for $325 a day. A day. Per day.
Motion.
Motion by Grady, second by Honey. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There we have it.
Is this printer in bad shape? Is this printer?
I know the way he put it was if ours goes down, it's, you know, it's nearly impossible to get a trencher that day. So he's brought his in before to help us, but he's like, you know, I'd rather we solicit bids to have something,
I think next year they might try to put that in the budget
To get a new one?
to get a new.
Sure.
The electric part, I talked to Andy and gas going together. Because the big project out there, Stonefields, you gotta use that, 4-inch, that big 4-inch like that, you can't do it with a small trencher, and there's nobody around the house.
right.
And he didn't want to buy a brand new one this year until he finally crippled this hair along, and it's almost on his last leg.
Understood. Well, if something happens, ours quits totally, then we need to be aware of that, so we're not just renting one every single day in perpetuity without being known, before we could maybe purchase one or get it fixed or whatever. Alright, sounds good. Park and Recreation Committee recommendations. Mr. Honey.
I'm gonna need help.
It's gonna need help. But they're here, so.
We, have a recommendation for a new board members here. Yep. Christine Young.
Okay, so I don't know that, have we ever officially approved Danielle's resignation? Okay, so we did have an official approval of a resignation a few meetings prior for Ms. Danielle Casarado. The board has a recommendation to approve a new member of Ms. Christine Young, correct? We do not believe she's present, but she does reside in the city of Cuba and meets the criteria and has shown interest, so we thank her for that. Is there a motion? Motion by Honey. Second by Grady. All in favor say aye. Opposed? You just want to make sure she's on the email list, and we'll let her know.
I'd also wanna make a recommendation that we, rent some porta potties like we did last year, 1 handicap and 2 regular porta potties, and they're gonna throw in the hand washing station. We're gonna keep them 3 months, is that right? 3 months for $725.
Okay. So yes, we did do this last year at Hood Park for the fall months, soccer and football and things like that. Or I think it worked out really well, and Tony, you were able to find somebody who served us well. So motion there for renting portable bathrooms for September and October for the football fields at Hood Park. In the neighborhood, you said it was going to be $725.
Right.
Maybe $725.
This says like with a cap of 700. So is it for 3 months or just 2? Because the minutes only say September and October.
Today we did 3. We put in we all discussed, and it was 3.
We put in a $700 cap.
This one says, yeah. So here it says just for the months of September and October with a cap of $700.
Then they came back to me and said they need $725.
For those 2 months?
No, this will be for the additional month because that's what we're later in for an activity going on at Good Park in the month of October.
So we can get 3 months for $725, and that's what you guys are proposing?
What are the 3 months?
August, September, October.
August, September, October.
Yes.
So the motion we're looking for is for.
No, September, October, November.
Okay.
Where is it?
So is the motion for portable bathroom rental for September, October, November in the sum of $725? Is that where we're at? Any questions on that? I know that's not what's in those minutes, but that's what he's saying, so, I mean, I don't, do we go by that or do we wait?
I mean, you guys.
We can back it up to 2
I
months.
don't.
But when he takes the porta potties away, he brings it back.
I'm not disputing, I was just going off the actual written minutes that were sent to me. So I took my recommendations off what was sent. So this was decided last night, but you're saying that it was changed today?
I didn't get the price back confirmed until this morning, so that's why I had it last minute.
Okay, so you've heard it now, folks. September, October, November for $725, correct?
Yes.
Okay, motion by Honey, is there a second? Aye. Second by Copeland. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Done deal. What else you have for us?
All right, recommendation for some personnel changes. Of course, we had Jenna Sherman's resignation.
We did, which we have not officially accepted because we have not had a meeting since that. Her last day was July 15th, correct? Saturday, July 15th?
Yes.
So the manager that we hired at the beginning of the season, Ms. Jenna Sharman, did email several of us and submitted a 2-week notice. This was prior to the 4th of July. I mean, this week of meetings and things took place, but regardless, her last day was July 15th. So we need to entertain a motion to formally accept the resignation of the manager, Jenna Sharman.
Motion.
Motion by Homey. Second by Grady. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. So with that resignation being official,
Then they want to bump Jada Mercer from assistant manager to manager and bump her pay according to the $15 an hour.
Okay.
And bump Sophia Horsfield from head lifeguard, or to head lifeguard, and bump her to $13 an hour.
so these would be the corresponding moves to the resignation. So
Not hiring anyone else, just
right, not hiring anybody else, just
bumping it.
bumping up. So there you have it, folks.
I would like to,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have an opposition to this, but I would like to add to that recommendation that we require the 100% compliance with the previously discussed issues from the June 29th meeting.
Okay.
As far as management pool is concerned. And those are in your minutes if you don't know what they are.
Understood. Is there a motion to move Jada Mercer into manager and Sophia Horsfield to head lifeguard with the rates stated? Motion by Honey. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed. So that has been done, and again, just a friendly reminder, we've got to watch our overtime, because we're still getting overtime on our card. If we can eliminate it, we've got to.
And I think there was 1 or 2 other issues in that.
There were, but there's been overtime since then as well. And again, I know it's not a perfect world, but Jennifer, if you want to give your statement on overtime, you're more than welcome to.
Well, the pool doesn't have any, basically the pool doesn't have any leeway for a budget. They have a balanced budget, completely balanced budget with, no, profits right now. So they can't afford the overtime.
Yeah, plain and simple.
No discussion.
Alrighty.
Next on the list, we had a recommendation to buy sun sails, and that was a budgeted item, but they're discussing now what kind of sun sails they want to put up, so we're gonna hold off on that. We do need to order 2 chairs for the splash pad. Those are silicone, I'm sorry, is it silicone or plastic chairs?
It has like a material over it. I sent it to Carissa, so that way it will withstand the water. They're actually made for going in the water.
Anyhow, these are chase lounges basically. They go in up to 9 inches of water. They're designed to stay in the water all day long, and they are $1,000 for 2 of them.
Okay. And this is just pool deck chairs?
No.
Or will they actually be put in the water?
They'll actually be in the splash pad, and we budgeted for those.
Gotcha.
Already on there.
Understood.
So those are, make a motion to buy those 2 chairs for splash pad.
Okay, our nation to purchase the budgeted chairs for the splash pad, again, coming in the neighborhood of $1,000, you say, Dave?
Yeah, $998, I think it was. I'm sure they'll be shipping or something.
Motion by Honey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Grady. All in favor say aye. Opposed. Hey, what else you have?
Alright, they're looking for 5 picnic tables over there. Jerry went out and got some prices here. Those tables, I can show you a picture of them. They're metal, okay, but they're designed to be outside all the time. They are $1,212 a piece. That was a budgeted item. It was part of the $30,000 at the sales and all that other stuff was in it. They're requesting those, and also requesting 2 tables for Hood Park, but that was not in the budget.
That's for the, I guess Chris had talked to the soccer program from Rule and Amy Hendricks.
Right.
And there's no seating that aligns adjacent to a football and soccer field. So last night we discussed 2 picnic tables going there that will get fixed to the ground in the cement pad or something.
We're gonna have to figure out where to transfer money from in order to do that.
I think we could pull it from the park, that's going in the park. And we had allowances for additional money for the park.
What do we have on that?
40, well, small. You have $45,000 for the Hood Park projects that are going on, but we don't exactly know exactly all that that's gonna take for the RV project that's going on out there. So I don't know exactly what they had on that number, and then there's $5,000 for Hood Park equipment.
Most of what needs to happen now for the RV project is the water department, the electric department needs to finish up, and we'll need maybe 6 truckloads of gravel.
Yeah, or if they want the $1,000 of picnic tables, then that amount's gonna be less than by $1,000. Now you only have 44,000 available, or you only have 4,000 to 5,000 for materials available, right? If it's $1,000.
That is in the construction account, so that's not necessarily, I don't know, we'd have to look and see if we can apply that out of the construction account.
Well, let's table the tables.
So,
All of them, or?
Well, those for Hood Park.
Okay.
Okay, because those were not budgeted, and then maybe by the next meeting.
We ordered 5 of these then for 12 piece for the pool.
Okay,
That's a lot of money for a picnic table.
well, I thought she said hold off on those. Jerry, you were gonna possibly explore options for other tables, or is that for Hood Park?
Yeah, I mean, I just heard about this today, but on the bottom of it, wasn't it a little cheaper to buy stuff?
Yeah, if you buy 7, they'd cut off
The way you pay for
$784.
it. I think there was a discount for the way you paid it.
$784 discount if you buy 7.
Yeah, wasn't that about, the way you pay for it too, wasn't it? Was there a certain way you had a discount to pay the advance?
How much was,
Credit card.
you said 30,000 was budgeted for the pool for items such as picnic tables and the deck chairs and the like?
Right.
So I mean, if they were to buy 5 of those chairs at 12 a piece, obviously that's six. Yeah.
They buy 7, they get $100 discount.
Right. Yeah. I mean, is that the recommendation for you guys to spend that much on those picnic tables? Is that, I mean, sure.
We have to have, there's no
It's your-
seating at,
yeah, it's
there's
your
no
money.
seating, yeah, there's no seating at, where the pads are, we need a couple there, and then the ones that are, where the concession stand are dilapidated, old, rusty, and falling apart, so.
Could we put those over in football area?
No, those ones, no. But those old ones, I don't know,
They're not picnic tables.
yeah, they're not,
They're big, heavy duty.
Those rat,
yeah, they're like rusted.
Okay.
Well, what do you guys want 5 of them? Is that what you determined?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
5 of them at the price of $12.12. Is there a motion?
That's my motion.
Motion by Honey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Copeland, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, takes care of those tables.
All right, we need to get permission from the council to go out for bids on the flooring. That was a budgeted item as well, to redo the terrazzo on the floors. And I've talked to Tony about it, we're just seeking permission to do that right now. We're not gonna go out for bids until it's closer to the pool shutting down.
Okay. So again, budgeted item, resurfacing of the interior flooring of the pool, bathrooms, and lifeguard areas and all of that. If you guys have been in there, you've seen that it's pretty rough. It's all original. Needs to be done, and obviously that work can be completed till the pool closes. But looking for permission to go ahead and, when the time is right, to solicit bids for that resurfacing job. Correct, sir?
Right.
Is there a motion to that? Motion by Martin.
Second.
Second by Honey. All in favor say aye. Opposed?
We've got some general maintenance out there that's not budgeted, but we're gonna have to figure out how to pay for it. We need to replace the drop ceiling in both the outdoor eating area and in the concession area. Because that's how people are getting in the off season. They're climbing the fence, punching out a panel and climbing into the building. So we need to get that metal. We need to figure out how to do it. We'll bring it back to the board when we figure that out. I got a recommendation to replace and purchase chairs and umbrellas for the pool decks, but I have no prices, no quotes, no nothing.
Glenn should have those, like, it should be the same chairs, like, that are there.
Yeah, but you need to bring it to the board so we can approve it. I have no
Yeah,
idea how much.
I have no idea where you purchased those from.
Also have a recommendation
Yes.
to purchase a backup pump for the pool, and I know Glenn's been looking for that and wanting it, but again, I have no numbers, I've just got a line item.
$8,000.
Yeah.
Do you know where it's coming from? Have you went out for
That's
bid?
the last bid that he got last year or 2 years ago with the grants.
We need to bring that to the next meeting.
It's probably not good.
So,
I bet that pump's went up since then, if it was $8,000 a couple years ago.
we've got 2 requests for save the date, for Halloween at Hood Park, October 21st, and Christmas at Hood Park, December 2nd. But that may be conflicting with what tourism is putting on.
We've already talked to tourism. Jimmy and Christine, the new member on our board, are both on the board for that council or tourism.
They're on, chamber.
Chamber.
Oh, they're on tourism too.
Yeah.
Jimmy's on tourism as well.
Yeah,
So that's not a tourism issue, that's a,
And it says on here that you guys are collaborating with, Chamber.
Yes,
For
yes,
that
we are,
reason.
yes.
But the tourism meeting tomorrow is collaborating with the chamber to install Christmas on the commons.
I think it's the parade that day, and what we're suggesting is the parade flips off the way the route is, and it ends at the park where Santa and everything is there, and we can do some festivities there.
Yeah, we're just looking to save the date at this point in time anyway, so.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's obviously gonna take, like I said, collaboration with Chamber and all the sort of Christmas parade goes.
It is, and honestly, I mean, we just need the date from you guys, I mean, everything.
And if we use it, fine, if we don't, we can cancel it, right?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sure. Well, what's the October date? Let's talk about that one first.
21st of October,
That's Cuba Fest.
That's Saturday of Cuba Fest, yes it is.
Halloween.
And what is it that you're wanting to do out there that day?
Same thing that Stouffville does, we're gonna do a Halloween big event, we're one of the only cities around the adjacent areas that don't do anything for their community. So I proposed in a text message a few weeks ago to our board, hey, why are we not utilizing our parks? We put all this money into stuff, we don't really do anything with community events for it, why are we not doing like a, Halloween event, why are we not doing like a Christmas event? It's not something that really, particularly the board has to do, but I have no problem leading it. I know I talked to Jen Cape already, I've talked to other people, and Jimmy, everybody's willing to help out and get together and do events for our community. We just need to save the date, that way people aren't like running out pavilions and stuff, and like it's interfering dates, probably not gonna run out pavilion the end of October, but just to make sure that we wanted to table it with you guys to make
do you
sure.
anticipate that to be a night activity?
Yeah, it's safe trick or treating for the children, face painting, maybe like some haunted hay rides, maybe like the projector screen that you guys approved that we got. We're gonna have like Hocus Pocus 1 and 2 going, so we're gonna have all these different things going at the park. Kind of like the fair without rides.
I would just wanna make sure that it is after they shut down.
It will be at night.
Because that's a tradition and.
Cuba Fest is usually during the day till 7.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, save the dates, what are we saving? What are we, if we save the dates, which is totally fine, what are we not allowing?
We're trying to do a date that also doesn't align with when Stouffville does theirs, or when other areas are doing theirs. We're trying to do opposite dates of that.
Okay.
Or we can have.
I don't know how this one works as far as saving a date for a Hood Park or something.
I think more or less we're looking at none of the pavilions are rented out at the park.
Okay. Okay. Yep. I mean, I'm all for it. Just didn't know what all this stuff. Is there a motion to do a save the date for October 21st at Hood Park for a potential Halloween event to be put together and scheduled and offered to the community?
Motion.
Motion by Grady, second by Honey. All in favor say aye. Opposed. And same for December 21st. Is there a motion to do a save the date?
December 2nd.
December 2nd?
Yes.
Motion. Did not say 21st, the 2nd. Motion by Honey, second by Grady. All in favor say aye. Opposed. Okay. Got that. Very good.
So those other 2 things, the pump, we need to get some.
Okay.
Correct
And then the
on
chairs
that,
and umbrellas.
replacement chairs and umbrellas, we need to know how much.
I'll contact Glenn and see if we can get some numbers on that.
Backup pump, Hood Park picnic tables. Let's look into that one further.
Yeah.
The drop ceiling and other items that you were discussing, let's look into that further. And whatever else that was.
And that,
There's a few other items.
is the end of Parks and Recreation.
Very good. Jennifer, I see you're here, so sounds like the fair went well from an electric standpoint.
Everything was awesome. I've heard nothing but good, best fair ever.
That's a
Even
bold
today,
statement.
thanks to all the city guys that are here. Everybody worked amazing with us. I didn't have to call you one time.
No.
only called Andy on a couple things. He pulled some pranks on me as well, so we're kind of equal on that now. So, probably the best, I mean, really everybody said best fair. Now, for me, it's a lot of work, but it was good, no complaints. Everybody loved the parking, going in a little early, having their own space. It was great. Anybody else hear any?
Heard nothing but positives.
I heard it was hot.
It was not hot.
And rainy.
When I was flipping burgers.
Well, when you're in there, it's a little warm,
You
but
should do the ticket booth, you have air.
You need to get a better job.
Yes. Not volunteer.
The ticket booth has an air conditioner.
yeah, and I think everybody got involved this year in the community. A lot of new faces, a lot of course, Wednesday was a lot, Thursday was, and Friday was okay, but Saturday was, I can't believe there's not a policeman here to complain that they had to park cars for like 4 hours because they were parking them outside the gate. That's how many people were there. So.
Nice, good turnout.
Otherwise, it was good. Newspapers should be just about wrapped up, so everyone can see that.
Well, thanks for all your help.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody that helped. I mean, park board and council that came on parking morning. I think everybody was enlightened as to what actually goes on in the park during the beginning stages, but everybody followed the rules, and I've heard more people say it was so easy and no drama, and that's what I like to hear.
Absolutely.
If we could just hire somebody that could count forward and backwards when they mark the spots.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll remember that for next week.
Thank you.
Speaking of police chief report, I don't see Doug Wogan or any representative of the police department. So we'll skip over that one for now. So we'll move into the most fun part of the evening, which is the reading of our bills. Is there a motion for the first reading of bill number 2098? Motion by Grady, seconded by Honey. All in favor say aye. Opposed? First reading, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with Don Nagai Construction Incorporated for the construction, installation of a water line in the North Industrial Park Water Loop project.
For the first reading bill number 2098, motion to accept. Motion by Honey. Second by Grady. Poll the council, please.
Best.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Gray. Honey. Martin.
Yes.
Copley.
Yes.
Okay, first reading moves with vote 6-0. Is there a motion for the second reading of bill number 2098?
Motion.
Motion by Holt. Second by Grady. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Second reading, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with Don Nagai Construction Incorporated for the construction, installation of a water line in the North Industrial Park Water Loop project.
For the second reading, is there a motion to accept? Motion by Holt, second by Grady. Poll the council, please.
Copley. Martin.
Yes.
Honey.
Yes.
Gray. Holt. Best.
Okay, second reading is accepted with a vote 6-0. That is now special ordinance 881. All good, I was looking. Motion for first reading bill number 2099.
881.
881, yes sir, special ordinance 881. First reading 2099, motion by Honey, second by Grady. All in favor say aye. Opposed? First reading, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with the University of Central Missouri and Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission to accept a grant for drive sober or get pulled over DWI enforcement campaign.
For the first reading, bill number 2099, motion to accept.
Motion.
Motion by Grady, seconded by Holt. Poll the council, please.
Best. Holt. Gray.
You did have that space.
Honey.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Copley.
Yes.
Hey, first reading moves with a vote 6-0. Is there a motion for the second reading, bill number 2099? Motion by Holt. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Second reading, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with the University of Central Missouri and Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission to accept a grant for a drive sober or get pulled over DWI enforcement campaign.
For the second reading, motion to accept. Motion by Honey, second by Grady. Poll the council, please. Hold. That's okay. You used to start to say it.
Schobel, Martin,
Yes.
Honey, Grady, Holt, Batts.
All right, second reading moves. The vote 6-0. That is now special ordinance 882. Old, unfinished, new business. Kevin, you have anything for us at this point in time?
Nothing.
Ms. Martin?
Yes, I'm ready to do. The Economic Development Group, I know that we discussed it, and we were kind of in agreement, it would be a good thing to do, we put it in the budget, but is there something we need to do to actually inform them that they will have our financial support? Or-
Yes. So I spoke with Mr. Burnett. He asked me how the budgeting went, because obviously he's been very interested for the last few months. And I did tell him that there were some monies put in there for someone to fill that role in the neighborhood of $40,000. He said that his board had some potential candidates in mind, and they were going to bring those to us. It sounds like there is an individual that is very interested that he's going to possibly bring to us in the near future, so I don't want to say a name yet. But yeah, they're trying to get somebody to fill that role, and then once that happens, they have somebody who's interested, then we'll all work together to talk about our expectations.
Okay, because one of the things that the auditors mentioned specifically was contract and the spending of that money. So is that something that we need to have in place as a contract with?
So I don't know that they're going to be a contract employee of the city of Cuba, or we're just...
With the economic development.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Have a contract with Cuba Development Group that outlines our expectations for funding and the role of that individual, rather than making that individual an actual contract employee like we have for past members. But that's a good point. That has to be done. Yes, that would definitely need to be done though.
Okay. And then the other thing was in regards to contracts, do we know who we have contracts with and how many of them are current and what's our move in order to satisfy that audit?
So what we do know that we have to do moving forward with the audit that came out this year, it was so close to budget and salary time, there's only so much we can do. It'll be recommended that when we start our process next year, that we have all contract employees submit to us a contract proposal, as well as we solicit bids for those contracts.
As well as,
so anybody who is interested in being a contract employee, whether it's Lance or whether it's Missy or anybody else, will need to advertise and solicit bids for that, as well as have them submit those.
okay, last thing. I know Kevin has mentioned grants on more than one occasion, and so I looked into the grant process. And one of the things that we're going to run into in getting grants is we don't have any plans for anything. The one that I did look at was specifically for sidewalks. I wanted to mention sidewalks. They just happened to pop up. You know, if there's a 45-day window from the time they list it until you have to have the paperwork in, and during that time, you know, you have to make sure that those sidewalks meet certain criteria. Like, you can't just say we need sidewalks in town. They have to be for a specific purpose and designation. Which we don't have. Some of them require engineering plans, which we don't have. So, I don't know what we want to do about getting grants. Clearly, it's a financial boost to us, but somewhere along the line, we have to start coming up with a little bit more specific plans for the city.
Sure. We just don't really have anybody. We don't really have anybody specifically in that role to pursue these grant opportunities. Yeah.
Something we need to be thinking about.
Sure.
So I agree with that.
Yeah, and I would like to maybe see some of that verbiage included in our contract with the Cuba Development Group that individual does grant work or seeks grants for the city of Cuba. I mean, if we're going to spend the money every year for this person, we're also given grant hours through RPC. Let's use them.
Yes, and they did tell me that the hours that we have on a typical grant, they probably get 2 grants out of that writing, out of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's use it or lose it. And
but still, we still have to have the data for for that person.
Takes a lot of pre-planning.
So whatever it takes to get one on that, we can,
Sure. Very good. Yes, sir. Mr. Grady? Nothing. Mr. Holt?
Somebody asked me about the property management position.
Okay.
When are we going to put that in paper?
And you just get it on the agenda for the next meeting and we can list advertisements for it. We can do that, it's budgeted.
Depends who asked you.
So I got, Jeff, okay,
Are you
Ty?
I don't feel good.
Well, let's go ahead and have a motion then, move into executive session. Motion by Grady, second by, hold the council, please.
Holt,
Yes.
Grady, Tony,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we'll move into